High above the American heartland, a miracle of nature is unfolding. Thousands of wings beat in unison. Following a map written in the stars, a journey perfected over millions of years. But in 2026, that map is fading. New data from the 2025 to 2026 migration season shows something unprecedented. Birds aren't just dying, they are diverting. They are choosing the long way home. Who is moving? We are seeing the most significant deviations in songbirds, warblers, sparrows, and swallows, the tiny travelers that rely most on internal navigation. Why now? As the USA blankets its cities and rural corridors with 5G technology, we have created an invisible mesh of millimeter waves. To us, it's high-speed video. To them, it's a sensory blackout. Birds navigate using a biological quantum compass. Inside their eyes is a protein called cryptochrome 4. It allows them to literally see the Earth's magnetic field. But when a bird enters a high-density 5G zone, this quantum compass is jammed. It's like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a rock concert. Take the Atlantic flyway, for example. Data suggests a 12% deviation in flight paths near major tech hubs like Northern Virginia and New York City. Birds are literally hitting an invisible wall. Unlike 4G towers, which were miles apart, 5G small cells are on every block and lamppost. There is no longer a quiet path for these avian travelers. This isn't just an inconvenience. Every extra mile flown is energy lost. For a bird that weighs less than an ounce, a 5G detour can be a death sentence. And if the birds leave, the pests arrive. U.S. farmers could face billions in crop losses as the natural predators of the sky avoid the digital grid. The towers are taller, and the signals are stronger. At 30,000 feet, where some Raptors soar, the concentration of signal noise is creating a no-fly zone. We analyzed 500,000 GPS pings from tagged birds across the Midwest. The correlation is 0.89. The more towers in a county, the further the birds move away. The purple martin, a favorite in American backyards, has shifted its nesting sites 15 miles westward in just 2 years. In cities like Chicago and Houston, green corridors are becoming isolated islands. Birds are trapped, unable to navigate through the 5G fog. 5G uses frequencies between 24 and 86 gigahertz. These are remarkably close to the resonance of certain biological tissues in small animals. Most songbirds migrate at night, using the stars and the magnetic field. Without that field, they fly in circles until they drop from exhaustion. Is there a way back? Some engineers are proposing bird-friendly signal pulse patterns, but the cost of infrastructure is massive. If it affects them, what about us? While the science on humans is different, birds are the canaries in the coal mine for our digital age. As we move towards 6G, the density will only increase. We are redesigning the planet's atmosphere without consulting its original residents. The silent migration is a warning. It's time we look up from our screens and look at the sky. The Central Flyway, cutting through Texas, is a bird superhighway. But with Austin and Dallas becoming 5G gigacities, the data shows a massive bottleneck. It's not just horizontal movement. Radar data shows birds are flying higher than ever to get above the signal floor, exhausting their oxygen levels in thin air. It's not just magnetism, either. Some researchers believe the hum of high-frequency 5G hardware creates an acoustic discomfort that birds simply can't tolerate. In the spring of 2026, nesting success rates in 5G dense urban areas dropped by 18%. The radiation may be affecting the development of the embryos inside the eggs. When birds fly by a 5G small cell at close range, they exhibit startle behavior. Sudden, erratic dives that lead to fatal collisions with glass buildings. Along the Pacific Flyway, 5G towers are being placed on coastal cliffs, the primary navigation landmarks for pelicans and gulls. Let's look at the numbers. A 10-minute 5G download nearby can spike the local electromagnetic field to 6 volts per meter. Birds prefer less than 0.1. Species like the blackpoll warbler fly for 3 days straight without stopping. If they lose their way for even an hour due to signal noise, they fall into the ocean. This also affects the insects that birds eat. If the food moves away from the towers, the birds must follow or they will starve. As 5G moves into rural dead zones, the last sanctuary for migratory birds are disappearing. There is no off, switch the sky anymore. When will we see the breaking point? Ecologists predict that by 2028, some migration routes will be completely abandoned, changing the U.S. map forever. Stanford researchers are currently testing signal shielding for wildlife. But can you shield a whole continent? The data says no. We are witnessing the Great Deviation, a massive biological shift caused by a technological leap. It is the largest uncontrolled experiment in history. In the heart of the U.S., the Mississippi River is the spine of migration. 5G river tracking nodes are now blurring this natural highway, making the water look like a digital haze to those above. But you can help. Apps like eBird are now tracking tower proximity data. Your observations in your U.S. backyard are the front line of this research. Remember, bird watching is a $100 billion industry in the USA. If the birds change their paths, small town tourism will collapse. Do we value 3-second movie downloads over the 3-million-year-old journey of the Arctic Tern? This is the question of the 21st century. The data is in, the towers are up, the birds are moving. The silent migration is no longer a theory. It is our current reality. Stay informed, watch the skies. And remember, the signal never sleeps, but the birds might lose their way forever. Subscribe to stay updated on the data.